Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My quick tip for you today is regarding glimmer paper and stencils. This is the sparkle glimmer paper from Stampin' Up. It also comes in gold and silver, rose gold and red. I want you to be able to experiment with lots of colors at home, but let me show you how the stenciling works on top of the glimmer paper. I'm using the Pattern Party decorative masks, and they come in a 4-pack with different designs. Lots of uses for these. They work great over the embossing paste, which is what I've used mine for primarily. But I wanted to do some stenciling and I found this worked really well. Let me give you some tips on how this is done and make sure you hang with me to the end of the video because I've got a completed card to share with you. Start off by protecting your work surface. And then you've got your glimmer paper. You're going to cut that to your appropriate size. You can even cut it a little bit larger and then cut it down to the size you're going to need. Add a very small amount of adhesive to the back side. And what I like to do is I like to actually rub that on my skin so that the oils from my skin will break down the tackiness. Not enough that it won't stick, but that it won't stick permanently to my scratch paper. I'm going to press that in place. Then go ahead and choose your stencil. I'm going to choose the clouds. And then I like to use washi tape to anchor my stencil down so that it doesn't slide. So I'll add a little bit of washi tape here at the bottom and at the top. Choose the color that you like. I'm going to be using Balmy Blue. You're also going to need a sponge dauber. If you're using the gold or the darker color glimmer papers, experiment with darker color ink so that this is more predominant. I'm going to put my finger up inside the dauber. Now typically when I'm using the dauber to sponge things, I stamp off some of that excess ink here so that I can control the coverage. That is not the case when we're using the glimmer paper. We want that pigmentation. So I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to start by pouncing color over the clouds. The one thing I can tell you about this is it's going to look a little bit lighter when you lift the stencil than it does now, which is typically the opposite of when you're using cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all those areas that are exposed. Then what you can do is you can take a little peek underneath, and I can see that's still a little bit too light. So I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add more pigmentation. Once you're satisfied with the amount of coverage that you've provided, carefully lift the mask from the paper. You can remove the washi tape and then you can rinse this right underneath the sink with tap water since I've used dye-based ink. Carefully lift the cardstock and then you have got a beautiful glimmer background. Isn't that pretty and really easy to accomplish? This is even a project the kids can create. If you only have a few sponge daubers, let me give you a tip about cleaning this. You can use a mild dish detergent and lukewarm water and rinse it out until all the pigmentation is gone. Let it air dry completely and then you'll be able to use them in different colors. Make sure though that there's no pigmentation left on the dauber when you go to use another ink pad. It will be stained because of the dye, but it will not affect the usage. Now I promised you a completed card, and this one uses that beautiful mosaic image from those masks. And this is the card that I created using this one. This is Melon Mambo ink. I did a small layer of Melon Mambo and black, die cut my words from the well-written dies, and added a small glimmer embellishment. A very simple card because I wanted this to be the star. I hope today's tip about using your stencils on your glimmer paper will help break out those stencils and use them in a whole new way. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the things I've got coming up. Make sure you click that small bell icon that's next to it so that you'll receive notifications of when I'm live here on YouTube as well as when I upload a new video. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you are interested in purchasing Stampin' Up! Supplies, I would be more than happy to send you a complimentary copy of the brand new annual catalog. Head over to lisasstampstudio.com and click on the Contact Me button at the top and provide me your full name and mailing address. Thanks so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.